Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas, everybody! This is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you in the month of December, since it is Christmas time and the holiday time, about Stuck in the Middle Season 3. Now, the title's a little different. There are actually three different titles. So, one title is called Stuck at Christmas, the movie, and it's advertised as a movie. And then the other two titles, because this is season 3, episode 1 and 2. So they pretty much combined both those episodes since they're back to back and made it into a movie and advertised it like that. But the individual episodes is Christmas Road Trip. That's episode 1. And then Stuck at the Iron Elf. That is the second one. And so this is the only Christmas episodes that Stuck in the Middle ever had. I love Stuck in the Middle. It was a great Disney Channel show. And sadly, it got canceled after only 3 seasons. But there's probably a good reason why. I've never really mentioned or talked about this on my channel, but I have mentioned why, this person left the show and the drama she caused and, the reason why it probably got canceled and stuff. But yeah, there was some behind the scenes drama with the actress who plays Rachel, which is why she disappeared in the 3rd season and she was written off the show, only to appear in the 3rd episode to explain why she's leaving in the very last episode when she comes back and everything. And so, other than that, I've never really mentioned this show. I've been wanting to for the longest time because I really love this show. And it's just a shame that it got canceled and stuff. It got canceled way too early, in my opinion. But this show is unique. This show is a blend of old school Disney and new school Disney. What do I mean by that? Old school, where it's basically revolves around a family and stuff and plot lines like that. And new school, where it revolves around the main character who's a female, and she does this incredible thing. And the female that I like to call it Disney Channel princesses that all started with Hilary Duff when she was Lizzie McGuire. And so the main female character in this is Harley. I'm about to say Haley, Harley and everything. Harley Diaz, and she's known as what you would call a dumpster inventor. What that is a dumpster diver inventor is people who take they find old broken stuff and they make something out of it. That's what Peter Parker was in the MCU when Iron Man first met him. And so basically she's just an inventor who takes old stuff and try to create new stuff out of it. And nothing too super high tech, but sometimes they do get a little too high techy on the show and stuff. And so like I said, yeah, this is the first and only Christmas episode, and it happened in this last season. So this episode is unique. Like I said, they advertised it as a movie. And so when you do go to Disney Plus to watch it, it's not going to say Stuck at Christmas. It's going to say the Christmas Road Trip and the Stuck at the Iron Elf and everything. I don't know why it's called that episode. Maybe that's what the place was called. I don't know. Anyway, so it starts off at the Diaz family house, and they have a huge family. The reason why it's called Stuck in the Middle, because Harley is the middle child. Yet she's not the awkward child. Georgie is for some reason, which is kind of weird. Let's see. They have a total of 8 family members. The mother and father, and the 3 brothers and the 3 daughters and stuff, or the 3 sons and 3 daughters. And so it's a really huge family and stuff. But Harley is the one in the middle. And so the show revolves around her. Now they're at the Diaz house and they're getting ready for Christmas. The house is decorated. The kids are cooking some type of authentic Mexican dish. I forget what it's called because my Spanish is really bad. And it's some type of food. It's this yellow mushy stuff that's wrapped inside a giant green leaf, and I believe you steam it, or you like or put it in like an oven, one of the two. And so they forget how long they're supposed to cook it for. And the only person who knows that is their grandmother. I am gonna butcher this pronunciation because my Spanish is bad. Obrella. I think that's how you say it. It's grandma in Spanish. I used to think it was abuela, but there's a B in there. And stuff. Look, I only took Spanish 1 in college. I dropped out of the class Spanish 2 because it was too hard. And so like, yeah, so they're like, okay, we have to call her, but nobody wants to call her. You know how it is. Young people now want to talk to their older relatives and stuff. So Harley is tasked with calling her while everybody else just like run for the hills and stuff. So she's talking to her on like face chat, and like, her grandmother tells her, but then her grandmother, after the conversation says bye. And Harley tells her, I'm going to send you this ornament through like the mail because, we can't make it and everything. And then so when the conversation ends, Harley is kind of like upset. See, they do a flashback, and Harley explains every year they have to send her an ornament that Harley makes through like the mail. And then they always make some excuse as to why they can't go and visit her in Florida. And she's always like begging them, hey, come visit me, but they can't for whatever reason. This year, she doesn't even ask them to come and visit. She just like gave up. And Harley realizes that, and she's upset. So she tells the rest of the family. And so they all decide, it's sad that she's giving up on them because they probably think she don't love them no more or something. So they decide they're going to take a road trip all the way down to Florida. I don't know where they live at. I forget. Might be California. Who knows? But all the way to Florida to the grandma's beach house where she's at. And so, like, the thing about this family you have to understand is because they're so big and all the kids are younger, let's see, Rachel, she is the oldest, the teenager, and they explain she's away in Paris visiting and stuff. That's how they wrote her off the show. But then when she comes back in the 3rd episode, she's gonna like take college up there or something like that. Then you have Ethan. I think he is I don't know if he's the 2nd oldest or not. He might be the 3rd oldest. Georgie, she's one of the older ones too. She might be the 2nd oldest, but she's the awkward one. She's the comedic relief of the person who's always like a bumbling idiot. Then you have Harley, who's like the 4th. And then you have, I don't know which is older when it comes to them. I think it's the twins. You have Beast and you have Louis. And then, but they don't look the same at all. And then you have Daphne, my favorite, who is the youngest. And she is like the wild one. Her hair is untamed and messy. She always carries around this doll that looks crazy, and she sleeps in a dollhouse. And she's always like, she don't care how she looks, and she's really mouthy and sassy and everything. Especially in this episode, oh my God. So the thing about their family, and then you have the mom who is Susie and dad who is Tom. Now the mom who plays Susie, this is actually how I started watching the show. She is the former Yellow Lost Galaxy Power Ranger from back in the 90s. And so I was on her Facebook page one day, and she had like a banner with Stuck in the Middle in it. I'm like, Stuck in the Middle? What is that? I'm like, hey, why is she in it? So I looked it up, and it was a Disney Channel show, and that's how I started watching this show. So I got into watching it around the 2nd season or so. And boy, I went online and I watched a mess out of the 1st season. I think this was before it was on Netflix. It was on Netflix and stuff. And so, like, that's how I got into this show. It's all because of her. And so the thing about the family you have to understand is because they're so big and they're so young and they're so out of control, wherever they go, everybody hates them. But the cool thing about them is they are a legit like family. When one needs the other person's back, they all group together and they help that person out in the event. And that's something very like cool you see, and something you don't really see in a Disney Channel show. Like you do see family members help, but it's mostly because of like, obligation and stuff like that, but they actually like love their family, and they always say their last name in like a chant, and that's kind of cool. Like you don't see that on TV a lot, or even Disney Channel for that most part. So they head to the airport, and as they're at the airport, well, they're on the airplane. This is when a lot of the shenanigans happen. See, Georgie is doing a toy drive, and she doesn't want to go to Florida. And they like, well, you can just do your toy drive in Florida or drop your toys off and stuff like that. She brings every toy that she collected, which is like 3 suitcases full, and a gigantic a life-size teddy bear, which they told her, you're gonna have to check that and everything. She's like, I can't, I checked everything else. So she just put it under her seat. So the entire ride, she's uncomfortable sitting underneath a giant teddy bear. Ethan doesn't do much in any of these episodes. He's just there. He is like Harley's like best friend out of the entire family, because they're mostly closely related and like probably like a year or two apart. And so like he doesn't want to go to Florida. He's all like, that's it, I need a new best friend. and so like and so like I'm thinking Beans from Even Stevens, because I gotta do that Christmas episode too. So Beast and Louie, they found what they think are like special seats up above. Well, that's where like the luggage goes. And so when they're in there, they don't want to get down. But I think the dad found out and told them, y'all better get down now. So in order to get down, they want to step on the people's heads as like ladders and stuff. And then, so let's see, Daphne. Daphne's smart. She takes her doll. Like she has a seat with Harley, because there's only 3 seats to the plane, and so Daphne has the window. There's a middle seat that's empty for another person, and then there's Harley on the outside. And so Daphne has the smart idea of putting her doll in the seat, and Harley's all like, that's for somebody else, right? She's all like, look, my doll is the first line of attack defense, and me and you are the second ones. If anybody tries to sit next to us, which do you want? To be the sick kid or the crying kid? And Harley's like, what? And then next thing you know, this giant man comes over, look like a biker with like pierced nose looking type thing, type look, not a mullet hair, like his head is shaved on the side, but it has like this hair like ponytail thing in the back, and he's wearing like all black, like a biker, Next thing you know, when they see him, Harley starts coughing, and then Daphne starts crying like a baby, and he's all like, I ain't dealing with it. And he sits next to the dad. Then when Ethan decides to change his seat for whatever reason, he tries to sit next to Carly and them. And they try that technique on him. He's all like, that's not gonna work on me. I'm prone to your tricks and everything. Well, something happens on the plane where it makes like some noise, so they have to land the plane. And now they're gonna be stuck at the airport for Christmas, but they don't want to be that stuck there. So they huddle up in their little team huddle, and they've been discussing what they should do. And the stewardess is all like, the plane landed 20 minutes ago, get off. So what they decided to do, they're gonna rent some cars, and they rent these 2 cars, but because there's so many, there's 7 of them, because Rachel's not there. So there's 7 of them and 2 cars, and they got all their luggage, and it's cramped, and people are like swarming around and pushing, plus that giant teddy bear is in one seat. So they are like, this is not gonna do. So they asked the dude, you got any other kind of rental car? There's a bus that was supposed to be for a band, but the band never showed up. So they take that. And so then it's like a montage of them having like Christmas joy, decorating the bus and playing with the musical instruments and all this stuff, right? It's a cool little montage, and it's a nice little family moment, until Daphne realizes she forgot her doll. And so Haley, I keep saying, I think in a Modern Family, hey, Harley, I gotta think Harley Quinn, okay, Harley. She put a tracker device in the thing. And so like, Um, so she tracked it, and it's like 60 miles away. And they're all like, oh, well, too bad for you. And then so they all decide, because she's so sad and everything, to turn around and go get the doll. This is when the hilarious part starts. See, they left the doll in one of the rental cars and somebody drove off with it. It's a family who's camping for Christmas. It's just a normal family, and it's like a little girl, and she has the doll. Within seconds of seeing that, Daphne is already outside struggling with the girl, a tug of war with the doll, talking about, you better give it up, girl. So then the parents come out and they discuss what's going on, and Daphne is tough. Daphne's all like, this is my doll and everything. And then she's like, the man's all like, I think the girls all like, I like this doll and everything like this. And then Daphne tells, oh no, the man tells something about my daughter likes this toy and that's like her only friend and blah, blah, blah. And then Daphne tells that man, you got 2 seconds to give me that doll. I'm finna get all up in that. And then she lunges to only be pulled back. And then so like they explained that Daphne has no friends. That's her like favorite friend in the whole wide world, a doll. And the girl explains like, I don't have no friends either, and blah, blah, blah. So then the mom repeats what Daphne, she's all like, if you don't get that doll up in 2 seconds, I'm finna get all up in that. And then she lunges and everything. And then so Georgie, sweet as she is, she tells them like, what if in exchange for the dolls, I give you like 4 like suitcases full of other dolls and everything. And so they're all like, but that's your toy drive stuff. That's like for needy kids. And she tells them, yeah, but one thing she loves to do is placing the right gift with the right person. So she gives up all her toys just for that one doll to make her sister happy. And that's really sweet and kind of her. It sucks for those orphans, but at least Daphne gets her doll. And at least that one girl got tons of dolls now. But that sucks for the orphans. So the mom is all like, how do we forget the doll? And then they have a flashback. Everybody was playing with their electronic devices, and then the doll just fell out of Daphne's hand. So the mom's all like, all right, that's it. No more electronics. So she takes them, and the dad holds them in his hand, but then he puts them in his little fanny pack thing. He sees a penny near the campfire. Yeah, you can probably guess where this is going. And then so he bends over to get the penny, and all the electronic devices, the money, and all their IDs fall out into the campfire. When they get back, it's a giant wad of burnt stuff that's stuck together. Oh, craziness. Well, in the next episode, Harley is trying to get like the pieces unstuck, but she can't. But then one thing managed to survive, one of the phones. And then their grandma calls, and the grandma is so happy and excited that they're coming, and and then something happens. The bus breaks down. So then they're all like, crap, dude, we can't tell her we ain't gonna be able to make it. But then they tell her it's a surprise at what time they're gonna come, and they make sure they're gonna get there somehow. So they go to like a auto body shop place where they meet a guy named Buddy. I didn't recognize him at first because he got older, but I totally recognized this actor. I've seen him in so many movies and TV shows in the 90s. He just keeps like popping up in places in the 90s and stuff. He was even in the episode of Sister, their Christmas episode. And so he's the only person working there because his brothers decided to leave him and stuff. His brothers are mad at him about something. So of course they have no money to fix their car, and they try to do everything they can to like bribe him to work for free. But he's like, no, my brothers say don't do nothing for free. Well, the mom and the boys, they go to like a bank and they're trying to get a loan. But she won't give them one because they don't have no ID and nothing like that. And then one of them give them like a sad like Christmas story. I think Louis does about it's Christmas and this and that. So she warms up and she gives them a check from right until Beast mistakenly hit the little silent alarm, and then the police show up. And they're all like, what happened? Why did the police here? I didn't hit no sign of alarm. So then Beast like, oh, I put my hands underneath the desk and I saw a button and I pressed it. Well, the woman rips the check up. So no money for them. So they have no money to fix their stuff. But then the guy Buddy is telling like Harley and everything about his family and this festival that they have, and it's like a competition thing at an amusement park. But his brothers don't want him to be in it. That's what his brothers had. They don't want him to be in it because he gets scared when he's at the top pole and he can't jump to like the next obstacle course and stuff. So Harley's all like, well, we got a big family, we'll be your family and we'll compete against your brothers. So that's what they do. And he'll fix their thing for free. And so like or I think it's prize money, and then that's how they're gonna fix it, something like that. It's one of the two. So they go there and Harley's all like, are you sure this is like a competition thing? Cause it looks like a circus. And he's all like, oh yeah, and then I put the two together. So then his family, his brothers show up and they mouth like off to like the Diaz's, and the Diaz's are like, we got this. So it's this huge montage of them going through obstacle course, and it's so cool, you know what I'm saying? And of course they end up winning. And they beat the other brothers, and the other brothers are like all like upset 'cause they got beat by like a bunch of kids and stuff. And so they decide that the brothers are gonna help them fix their vehicle to get to their grandmother's place for free and everything. And so when they get to her Christmas house, they see no Christmas decorations. And they're like, where they at? And the grandma's all like, they're outside. So she opens the back door, and she lives in a beach house. So when she opens her back door, all you see is sand in the ocean and all these Christmas decorations and chairs and all this other stuff. And they go out there. It's a nice little montage. They're holding hands. The sunlight is making them look like a silhouette. And it's just like one of the most beautiful scenes ever. And it's just a nice, joyful ending to like a chaotic road trip, Bah humbug, that was a good episode. All right, everybody, I'll talk to you later. Bye.